Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Oliver Ackermann from Death by Audio and A Place to Bury Strangers, and we are here at Earthquaker Studios, and this is my pedal board. So this is my guitar. It is a Jaguar from, I think, Japan, probably. It had the top broken off and then someone stole it at a show. So it's just this half. It's, this one in particular, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's an early 2000s guitar from Japan. It's a neck from another guitar. It's been cracked a few times. You can see it's been cracked a bunch of times. The neck has been cracked through. The back piece here has been kind of ripped out. There's different tuning pegs from all sorts of different guitars. It's maybe like that kind of Johnny Cash guitar where it's like a 55, 56, 57, 58. There's the parts from some other bits. It's all rusted. I always do like a few things to customize these guitars where it's got all the pieces of the tremolo glued in. I cut out an extra piece on the inside so that the bar never touches when you break it a bunch of times. The tremolo wants to scoot closer and closer, or if you try to push the guitar together. It's got different pickups. One is like maybe a Armageddon, the other maybe this Tone of God, which is like some really cheap, I imagine Chinese pickup. It's wired up so that, it used to be wired up with switches where it would like turn on like a piezo, and then it has this like bypass switch that I'll wire in like my guitars before they totally break, where like worst case scenario you switch this and then all the controls are disabled and it just goes directly to the output. It's got drywall screws holding the whole thing together. You can see there's like a secondary ground wire. Now it's wired so like this jack is just this pickup and this jack is this pickup. And the tone is just a place to rest your hand if you get tired playing. Yeah, it's got a brass nut because always, I'm sure you all know, when you're swinging your guitar around, always the nut's one of the first things to break. So once that breaks, you put the brass nut in. All right, cool. So here is my pedal board. It starts off where I plug into a Boss tuner, and it's one of those ones where you can like hold down on the button and it gets extra bright. So that way, if you're playing outdoors, you can see in the tune. Then it goes into this thing, which it's called the Galaxy channel, which is a prototype for this, we're building this like a preamp kind of based on the 4-track cassette recorder preamp. And it's built, it's just based on that, and it has all the controls to kind of like, it's like got the low, the high, the gain and the level, all like foot controllable. And this way, like, I'll bring a lot of guitars with me on tour, and they all sound different. And this way you can easily control how this different guitar sounds with your foot while you're playing, because I'll be doing a lot of like singing and playing guitar. And if I just pick up a guitar and it doesn't sound right, I can shape it and make it sound right.
Can we hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it. Totally. So I always loved like the distortion on those preamps. And so when you crank up the 4-track, you get kind of a gnarly sort of gain. And then you can back it off, you can make it trebly. And this I pretty much run through all the time. There's only a couple times where I don't have this on, and this kind of helps adapt the rest of my pedals and kind of controls what that is playing. It's a pretty, I don't know, stripped down pedal board in a lot of ways, but it just kind of, then I can focus on playing guitar a lot of the time. Next it goes into this pedal, which was the Apocalypse prototype. It's the Armageddon. And it's basically the Apocalypse with just a channel where you can switch between these two different tone controls. One is like a mid scoop, and the other is like a mid boost, and you go between those frequencies and change. And that really like makes the dynamics of parts always seem like something is pushing forward and heavier than what had happened before. And it just kind of plays like a trick on the listeners, so that every single time you switch between this, it's like, here comes this other crazy heavy part versus the other. Let's hear it. Then after that, it goes into this wah pedal that I built, which is similar to like a crybaby sound. And but just I always like cut out the rubber and stuff on these pedals in the front and the back so you get as much range as possible. But this, and then it's built where it's like, I think that there's maybe like a resistor in the bypass of this pedal, so that it's like it kind of changes or makes everything else that comes before it like a little bit weaker until you turn on the wah, because they're sort of, unfortunately, design these things with so much gain, they're just so insane that this helps it balance it when you're using some random PV amp or something like that. So, but with the distortion, I think it really gets kind of crazy. You can hear that. Yep, you can change the frequencies of feedback and stuff. I don't know what a wah pedal should do, I guess. Next, it goes into this thing that's called Delay Destroyer. It's my business card at the moment. And often I'll put like either recent prototypes or something like that that we're working on, or in this case, my business card in here. And it's just a delay where it's like there's a lot of gain, so it kind of resets what's in the feedback of the delay. always make all these different business cards that are, let's see, oh yeah, here I've got one, where it's a circuit board, and here's the business card, and it looks like a fake credit card, but you can try to swipe. It's got $10 to Starbucks on it, and it's basically, I don't want you actually to contact me and tell me about what problems you're having trying to build this, but if you want to, come meet me somewhere and I'll give you a business card and you can build this delay. This is this pedal where it's like all these kind of different effects, and some of them are kind of even based on maybe In a Place to Bury Strangers song, where there's like this one where it has like a timed delay. And then this knob just controls the feedback of that delay at this time. Or it's got this reverse setting. Or some reverbs. Tremolo. And then it has this thing where you can, this is like the left amp and the right amp. So you can have one amp tremoloing and the other amp not. You can do the same thing with the reverbs and stuff. It's just like a way to kind of stack and build different intensities of the effects. This really can kind of, you know, come into play when you're playing some show and something just sounds weird and off. It can be really cool to just turn off one of the sides and hear what that sounds like. You know, these are a lot of times things that we're like working on and stuff that, you know, there was maybe like 5 of these made. I traded like this for like a painting to a guy, and then we sold a couple in like Ludlow guitars back when that was a thing. And this is like a pedal that we're working on. These sometimes we'll have like, since it's one of those spin-based platforms, like we'll have programs or something that we're working on, and I'll try these things out and it becomes turned into a pedal. We'll, you know, I'll often bring pedals that we are developing or working on the road, but it's like, you know, being able to build effects is just, you know, that's kind of why I started building effects, was to be able to build the sounds that I wanted to make with the band. I think there's just something which is kind of different about playing this stuff live, and that's why we even designed a lot of things where it's like, it's kind of big and chunky, and so like you can like control it with your feet, or you can, like, you love going down and interacting with this knob or this switch. Like, it just has a certain feel and all of these things to kind of entice you and also be, I don't know, nice enough to be able to see this stuff. You can see also on this board, I've like taped almost everything with like arrows to additionally see where things are going, and we play with a lot of smoke, a lot of crazy lights, and I need to know where these knobs are pointed, so it's nice. And then lastly, this pedal board goes into this pedal, Echo Wave, which it's another FV1 program, but it's like just reverb and very simple. And there's just less mix programs. And it's like the 2 reverb pedals are really important for me, for where you can do these things where you like turn off a reverb, and then there's also still reverb going. It sounds really natural, I think. And then you can also shut it off to be really unnatural. So you kind of have those options, or the one reverb into the other. There's also, you can see that the outputs are over here. It's like the British style where the inputs are on the left and the outputs are on the right. And this is so that all the chords of my pedal board can all come out of one side, and it'll be, I don't know, it's kind of easier in some ways. You can have a monitor right here, you can have the mic stand right here, you can stomp on the ground right here and be not fearing that your chords will get broken off. There's also some other extra outputs on this board. There's like one over here that I can tap into and one at the outside of the wah. So if you want to, you can kind of do sort of crazy things where you like plug an output into another amp if there's another amp or whatever. But yeah, Echo Master. I've also got the vocal pedal that I use on this pedal board, and this you can hear, hey, 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 hey. I'll turn these knobs with my feet. Yep. You can feedback forever if you want, or get repeats that are coming for you. Look out, look out. Yep. This is a great pedal to just have at your feet, so your monitors and everything sound the way that you want. So you can hear the delay on your vocals. It's built in a way where it doesn't really feedback that much unless you turn the feedback knob up. So no fear for the monitors. You can see also it's got like all the power and everything routed, where it's like this is all cable tied down, and it's got a, yeah, I don't know, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of lifted up.
Yeah.
It's also all screwed into the board. You can see here's all these different past pedal boards of this piece of wood on their different pedal layouts. It probably doesn't make much sense, but yeah, I think there's rubber feet so that it can go on like different, there could be cords running under here if you need be. These things, you can see these cable ties are kind of protected by the rubber feet. Yeah, I don't know. All that stuff, when it's screwed together, then the TSA are a lot less likely to want to tear it apart. So that's always good. Often if it's like Velcro or something, they'll want to take your pedal board apart. That's not this. It's also got a couple extra power supply things if you want to. If someone gives you a pedal when you're on tour, then I'll try to like play it, you know, which happens kind of often, which is kind of fun. So if you're listening to this and you have a pedal that you made and you're on tour, please give it to me and I'll play it for the rest of our tour. Thank you all so much. Love Earthquaker Devices. Love it that they have me on Bored to Death.